Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. This is a video that's going to go over a topic I have been not only promising for a long time but had a lot of interest in. So I'm finally taking the time to do a video on it. I hope you guys find some value and get some ideas from it. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. I cover all kinds of mind, body, soul, mental and physical health topics and beauty in the most non-toxic way possible. So today I'm going to talk about derma rolling. Specifically, derma rolling can be used all over the body. It can be used for stretch marks and sagging skin and everything, but I'm going to be concentrated on the face. And I'm going to show you some of the biggest pros and cons, what I've learned from doing this for like years and years, the things you don't want to do, and you definitely want to stay tuned until the very end because I'm going to tell you a few things that you do not want to try this without knowing. So I've got my little list here of notes to read off of, if I can find it. Okay, so derma rolling basically is this procedure that it is completely safe to do on your own as long as you take the proper precautions, are using the right type of needling device, and pre and post care. So all of those things are really important. Years ago, after I had started doing this, I remember seeing an esthetician saying that like derma rolling was like the worst thing in the world that anyone could do, that nobody should be doing this on their own, that it was a recipe for infections and all this crazy stuff. And I was like, I kind of felt like it was really basically her trying to get people to not do preventative things on their own, because from all of my research done exclusively through licensed estheticians, they rave about this. They encourage people to do it, but again, under the right circumstances, with the right tools and devices, and in a smart way. So I'm not a licensed esthetician. Health and fitness and wellness are my strong suits, but I don't venture into anything without thorough research and really studying the experts of all experts before I do something like this. I will say, however, that years ago, like literally 10 years ago probably, before I kind of went into the rabbit holes of the beauty industry and everything, I did get a device like this, and I got this one specifically just so I could show you guys what not to get. Looking back on it, I have to kind of laugh because there's two different types of derma rollers. Well, let me finish my other thought really quickly. So this is safe to do. I'm not a licensed esthetician. I've just gotten all my information from licensed estheticians. I've studied this. I've researched this. I feel completely comfortable doing this. You want to do research based on your skin type and what you're wanting to maybe fix before doing this. But as long as you're just looking for generalized collagen production, maybe tiny little fine lines and wrinkles, and you're not trying to go crazy over deep acne scarring or active acne or anything like that, you will be fine. But do your own research outside of this. I'm just going to share with you the key takeaways that I've gotten from my years of study. So this is the kind of roller that you don't want. And this is what I did unfortunately start with. Because of all my studying, I actually didn't realize that there were two different types of rollers. One where there's just like a disc with these little spiky things on it, and then a really good quality needle roller that has individual needles. So I don't know if you guys can see that, maybe compared to that one. And see how that one kind of just looks, you can't even really see the individuals. It's really hard unless you're super, super close. This one looks like, oh, okay, there's a lot of spiky things on a roller, it'll be great. But this one is much different, and it felt, the first time I used this, I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. So unfortunately, that was a mistake that I made. Even with my research, I did not realize that this is not the type of roller you want. You want one with titanium individual needles that's a really, really good quality. So that's what I have here. And then some of the most important things that you want to know for derma rolling. For one, it's going to help increase collagen production. It's really great for hyperpigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles, light scarring, again, not like keloid scarring or anything like that. So years ago in my early 20s, I had horrible acne, and I'm talking about acne so bad that like I didn't leave the house and was like severely depressed because of it. So crazily enough, I don't have a lot of scarring on most of my face except for right here. So I have no makeup on whatsoever right now. I do have some kind of crappily fading sunless tanner that's not making me look so great. But I have no makeup on, and most of my scarring's right here. But I do feel like that not only derma rolling, but my skincare choices over the years have just helped my skin overall. Like, I attribute my collagen supplements, my overall lifestyle, from the quality of water I drink to the lack of toxins in my food and my diet. I contribute those things primarily to my anti-aging skin routine, probably more than anything. So I want to be really honest about that, because I don't think that any device, serum, cream, treatment, or anything is going to make up for those things being off in your life. Like, skincare is literally a reflection of, you know, the inside out. So this has been a great tool, but I don't feel like it has been the exclusive factor for, you know, what my skin looks like or anything else. I've never been really good at being consistent at like a nighttime or morning skincare routine. My skin honestly does best the less I do with it. So this is one of the things that I've done periodically, but then I've also gone months, years without doing, and then I bring it back in. So it's not like I've done this thousands of times since I was 20 years old or anything else, and I just want to be real with that. That's also why I like it, is because I think if you have those other things in place, this can be a really powerful tool to amp it up a notch, especially if you're more consistent with it than I am. So let's get into some of the details. Alright, so titanium needles. Let's go over the needle depth, I think, first. And by the way, I've created a list already, because I knew you guys were going to ask, for the roller I use, the serum that I use, and different things that I use for pre and post care. It's all going to be in the description box below, so you guys can just click directly on that. There are different needle lengths. This is a 0.5, and this one, it looks exactly the same, but the needle depth on this one is 0.25. From all my research, almost every esthetician and expert recommends you start with this. This is kind of like your safest, most beginner level needle, and what this is really ideal for, the 0.25, is to help your serums actually be absorbed. So this will actually blow your mind. The research shows that roughly like 4 to 10% of your serums get absorbed into the layers of skin that it really matters, just if you put it on top of your skin. It just actually cannot penetrate that well. When you apply your serum after rolling, the absorption increases up to 70%. So like, that's insane, given that people spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on serums and it just barely even gets through. The same thing happens with supplements too. Like, people pay all this money, but they're not the right types, or, you know, the body can't absorb them, and they're just wasting money. So that alone is huge, and that's what the 0.25 needle is best for. You can do this multiple times a week. It's very quick and light, and you can do it in areas where you want the serum to kind of absorb extra, and that's kind of the extent of that. The 0.5 is where you're going in a little bit more towards, so I don't know if this camera, but I tend to get some lines right through here. The first time that I started noticing these lines was roughly 6-7 years ago, when I actually went to get my eyebrows microbladed. She took a before picture, and I was like mortified at the lines I was getting. I was like, I'm in my 20s, like what the heck? And that was when I started doing this more frequently, along with the collagen supplements, and they all but disappeared until like last year they started creeping back. So again, this can be really powerful when combined with the right nutrition and other protocols. So the 0.5 would be for a little bit deeper. Like, I would use this one here, and this one you want to do, there's varying opinions on this. Some people say you can do this one once a week. Other people say you should do this once every 2 to 3 weeks. Again, research based on your skin type, kind of experiment, start low and slow, see how your skin responds, and then maybe decide how often you want to use one like this. I definitely, across the board, everyone I studied, I found that they all pretty much agreed that anything over 0.5, because there's like 0.75 and then 1.5, like that's for clinical use, that's for heavy scarring, that's for stretch marks, things that you don't really want to be trying to navigate on your own. You want to go and see an expert with. So these two right here are really all you'll need for home care. This one's great for serums. This one's a little bit heavier duty. This one's going to get deeper into those wrinkles. So Let me see what else. I have to have notes. I have to reference this. Otherwise, I'll just jab on and not actually get any of the information that you guys need. So, oh, another important thing that I only recently found out, like literally just this past year, found this out. I had one that I had like for over a year. I mean, used it probably 50 plus times, and I use it on my body, I use it on my neck, everything. One of the biggest experts on derma rolling says that you are supposed to use this 10 times. That's the max. And I was like, what? It makes total sense though, because these needles, they're very sharp, and they should be sharp to like do the little, you know, punctures into the skin like they should. You want them to be sharp. And if you try to use something dull, it makes sense that it would actually be damaging. So that was another mistake that I made, but I just didn't know. Like, nobody actually talked about that. From all the research that I did, nobody ever mentioned that these things had a shelf life and that you shouldn't really be using them more than 10 times. So that was really important to me. I was like, dang. And that makes sense. At first I was like, oh my gosh, who can afford that? But it really boils down to a couple dollars a treatment. And if you're using like the 0.5 once a week or once every other week, like, you're literally spending $1 or $2 for a treatment. You can't go to the salon or the spa and you can't even get a facial for anywhere near that. So it is an investment, and I would recommend going by that, because once she said that, again, it made total sense to me. I was like, oh yeah, of course. So I've only used these a couple times. They're still very fresh. And I think that that was a really valid point, and I wish that I knew that a long time ago. So you want to go with titanium needles, but that's the one that I have in the list, so you won't have to worry about that. And then after treatment, I'm going to actually just go through the pre-treatment, treatment, and then I'll go after, I'll talk about the after treatment. Okay, so, cool. I think that was all kind of the basics of explaining what it is and what you want to get and all that. I'm going to just go into an actual little demonstration here. So, you want to make sure your face is immaculate clean. Some estheticians have recommended, even after you're clean, to take a swab and do alcohol. Others have said that you don't want that alcohol on the skin. I've done both. You can make that decision what you want to do. Like, if I get straight out of the shower and I feel like my skin is really, really clean, not so much. If I just washed my face in the sink, I might feel like I want to just make sure it's extra clean. But you need this to be a sterile environment 100%, and you need this to be a sterile device. So they come with these cool little cases. When I first got these, I just like threw them in my little makeup container. Now I keep it very safe, very sterile, all of this. I've upped my game a little bit, and then I have this cute little gold bottle that I have just pure alcohol in. I clean it and then spray it after, and then before as well. And the thing is, everyone talks about like sanitizing things or washing things off. If you guys knew what was in most tap water, you probably would like never put that near your body or anything. So I don't wash this in tap water. If I'm going to clean it with water, I will just swish it lightly in some boiling filtered water, or just spray it, because I feel like putting it under tap water is adding more stuff that I don't want near my face. So, okay, so I'm going to spray this again. It's already been sprayed, but I'm going to just sterilize it one more time. Kind of like pat it on a very clean towel, because I don't want the alcohol on it. Alright, so they recommend you take your face into 4s. I kind of do here, here, and here, kind of like 3. You don't need any numbing cream or anything like that for this. It's not really painful. It can kind of tickle in some areas, but I mean, it should not be unbearable that you need something like a numbing cream. So here's what I think is really, really important. And through all the videos that I've looked at over the years, this is definitely one thing that I have not seen a lot of people do, but it matters. So what you want to do is think of little tiny squares, like this big, like shroom. You focus on that at a time. What I used to do, I'm actually admitting a lot of mistakes, because when I first did this, it was just like, there was not the information that there is now. So I guess I researched in depth, but there just wasn't the information available. So I used to take this and be like, it just kind of went all over my face and body. Not so much. So what you don't want to do is have the roller slide on your skin at all. And when you're going like this and going diagonal and not picking it up like that, the needles are actually sliding and scraping your skin, and that is how you can get damaged. So you want to place it, light pressure, 1, 2, 3, 4, pick it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically in that tiny square, you go up 4, cross 4, diagonal, diagonal. That is the best and easiest way to do it. Even yesterday, and just kind of brushing up on my technique and stuff, I saw several videos from estheticians and people that were demonstrating this, and they were like, and I was like, how are you doing that? Because again, after years of doing this and researching and looking, it just makes sense that you don't want that needle to be scraping your skin. You can't diagonal drag it and change directions with the needle. It's not good at all. So just do your little 4s. It's very easy. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually, I don't do it like that. What I really do for just speed's sake is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I go across, and then I do all the diagonals. It's just easier that way. And then you can go over twice. You can go over everything like that twice. This is with the 0.25, so going over it twice is totally fine. But then say I was using the 0.5 and I was trying to do more like wrinkle reduction. So with the 2.5 or 0.25, you could go over it once, do your serum, or you could go over it twice and do your serum. That's fine. But if you're doing a treatment to get into the deeper wrinkles and stuff, like there, can you see that little guy right there? So I would 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would probably go over that maybe like 3 times total. You don't want to overdo it, but you can go over the specific wrinkles. Like for me, another spot is kind of right here. This spot is, all of this right here is so ticklish on me. It makes me sneeze and wince, and it's very hard for me to do that area. I can do my forehead all day long, but from here to here, this area is very sensitive. You can do the nose. There's some of them, like this right here is an attachment that goes on this. This one actually came with 4 different like heads to switch out. This little guy is supposed to be for like under the eye area. I never ever used that one. What one of the estheticians recommended is if you're gonna do even remotely near your eye, to kind of pull down so that that skin is on the bone there and a little more stable. Very, very, very light. I would only do that once, and you do not want to get, obviously this skin right here is insanely delicate. You don't want to get like all up in that. So, but you can do your whole face, like the crow's feet. Just keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. It is best if you focus on the areas just so you can make sure you're not like going over one area, you know, 20 times or anything like that. But that's really it. And you can, oh, my tanner looks really bad, guys, but I promised this video this week, so I apologize. I really need to exfoliate. So I always did my neck because for me, one of the big things that I've always thought was like insane is that women will spend thousands of dollars and hours here and they totally neglect this. And so like this is flawless, no spots, no wrinkles, anything. And then here looks like a completely different person. So anything that I do on my face, virtually anything, I'm always doing down here, and I try to do on my arms as well. This is no exception. Obviously that's going to be an extensive treatment. That's going to take a lot of time. I probably won't do it all at once, but just rolling the arms, the neck here, you know, just maybe not every time or whatever, but like this skin needs some love and attention and everything too. So that's one thing that I love about this, is that it's very easy to just do on the other parts of the body as well. So, all right, I think that kind of covers the actual process of it. You want to be sterilized, you want to have the right needle, you want to make sure you're, you know, not overdoing the deeper needles like the 0.5. Everything's clean and sanitized. Don't touch your face. Don't pick up your phone and then touch your face. You want to think like medical grade sterilization for this process. Make sure your hands are clean, anything that you're touching is clean, and you are good to go. As for the aftercare, you do want to be really careful on what you do for the next 24 to 48 hours. No direct sun, no extreme acids like vitamin C serums or glycolic acids or any like retinols or anything like that. What the women that I follow who I trust recommend kind of across the board again is this. It is pure hyaluronic acid. It doesn't have a lot of other stuff, and once you've needled, your body needs that hydration to rebuild and to really just pull in all that moisture so that your skin can heal and rejuvenate, because that's when it actually increases the collagen production and everything else. If you do this too much or you do this improperly, it can increase the production of collagenase, which actually breaks down collagen. So again, you have to do this the right way. It's another reason taking the collagen supplements. Zenify, my line, has a type 1 and 3 collagen peptides that your body needs so much, will help you build up when you break these tissues down. Your body needs the collagen, it's going to produce it, but when you're taking it endogenously as well, you're going to get triple the benefit. So I can't really overstate how important the collagen supplement part of this to me is. But this is what you want to do afterwards. Nothing else. Nothing else. Stay out of the sun. Try not to sweat. Don't put makeup on that's going to clog your pores. Nothing that's going to clog your pores whatsoever, because you don't want it seeping into those fresh little holes. That's what the needles is doing. It's putting little, micro holes, micro channels into your skin so the serum can get in there and stimulate new growth. You don't want to be putting everything on it. So keep your face clean. Keep it out of the sun. This serum only for 24 to 48 hours, and then you can go back to your normal routine with your vitamin C serums. I use a beauty counter serum that's very much like retinol without all the horrible retinol damaging effects. So that's my process, but there's lots of other, peptide renewal serums. There's all kinds of different things that you can use after the fact. That 48 hours is just where you want to be really careful. So after you needle, you do not need to sterilize and re-clean your face. Just let it be. Sterilize and clean your roller. Make sure you put it up in the container really well. Hydrate really well. Drink you some Zenify collagen peptides. Make sure you're documenting how many times you've used this. So like put it on a calendar or so once you get it. Make sure you're not using it. I mean, I think 10 to 15 is a good range. I wouldn't push it past 10. 10 if you're doing like full body. If you're just doing the face, I think 15 is a reasonable number. And you can get the 2 different needles, the 0.25 and the 0.5. So I think that is it. Let me do a final recap here. I know this isn't like a professional, awesome edited video like most YouTube videos, but that's how I roll. So, okay. Nope. That is it. I did cover all of the important things. Like I said, I'll have everything listed down. If you guys have a question that I didn't cover, I'll do my best to answer it. But I hope you try this, because it's a really, really good, inexpensive way for you to take care of your wrinkles or, these little things and stay on top of it. They can save you a ton of money. It's easy, it's painless, it's simple, and I think that every woman should put this in their routine and get the benefits of it. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you guys next time.